Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Pacific Rim Bridge Wars video. Alright, so this is not a typical video that I usually do. There's something that I need to address, and just want to update you guys about a couple of things. Alright, so it's a rather sad news, but I've left Raging Dragon. So if you guys don't know, that's my faction. I've been in that faction for at least as long as I can remember. I can't even remember ever changing to a different faction. I think this is the first time that I'm switching, but pretty sure I've been there for more than 6 months now. That might not be a long time to some of you guys, but it is to me, considering that I have only been playing the game for I think less than a year. But it's a tough decision to make. I've decided to leave the faction, and I'm sure some of you guys want some answers of why I'm doing so, which is why I've decided to make this video. Now, Raging Dragon is definitely a faction filled with a bunch of helpful people, and I'm not saying that all the other factions out there are not friendly or helpful, but based on my experience there, I can actually vouch for every single member there, and I would still recommend it if you guys are relatively new. You have around 100 to 200k power and you wish to join a good, decent faction. I would still recommend you guys to try and join Raging Dragon if you can. Now, leaving the faction is not an easy decision for me. Of course, it has been always on my mind, and I've thought it through for a little while, and I've decided to take action yesterday on 17th on January 2019 is when I left Raging Dragon. Now, there are a couple of reasons of why I leave. It wasn't a bad faction in any way. In fact, I love every single one of the members there, but it's just something to do with my interest in the game. Alright, so Pacific Rim Bridge Wars has always been a game that I play every single day. Now, I haven't played for a year, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to it at least. And whether you like it or not, if you have been playing a game for a year or almost a year, more than 6 months actually, you would tend to feel like it gets stale over a long time and you will get bored easily. So the contents of this game, there's nothing much to it, and I'm not saying that there's no updates or anything like that. There are still consistent updates, Jaegers being released and things like that, but it's hard to keep my interest in the game, especially if I don't do anything to change it. And one of the best ways to do that is to actually switch the entire faction, so that way you get a new environment, you get to meet new people, and you get to keep the interest of the game going. And it might sound like a dumb thing, or it doesn't make sense to some of you, and that's fine, but this is something that I usually do when I'm bored with a game. I mean, not completely bored, but just trying to remain trying to keep the interest of the game that you enjoy playing, especially if it's a game that you love and enjoy playing every single day. No matter how long you play it for, over the long course of time you're gonna get bored with it. That's just how it is. So yeah, drastic changes usually is the solution to that, at least for me. So yeah, over the last few months, course of me being in Raging Dragon as well, there's lots of new members coming in, come and leave, and that's to be expected because Raging Dragon is not like the top 10 faction or anything like that, so it's bound to happen. If a strong player comes in and they see the performance not being good, they tend to leave, and it's not something that can be avoided, especially when not all players are active. The only way for me to do that is to make the faction a little bit stricter, like make it a rule where you have to log in and play every day or else you'll be kicked. But I don't want to do that because that will be unfair to some of the players, especially some of you who have school, you have to study, or some of you who have work, depending on how old you are. So yeah, I'm trying to keep everyone happy, but whether you like it or not, in any games you play, the top factions will always have the most active players. Also, another reason why I left Raging Dragon was In Raging Dragon, I'm a co-leader, so that gives me the ability to accept players in. Sometimes I have to reject players. I don't like doing so, but it's gonna happen sometimes. And especially when you have a YouTube channel, it's not easy because whenever you do that, you will receive, people will send you hate in forms of messages for not accepting them. But it's not something that I can try and make players to understand. It's something that I think most players have to understand on their own, especially when a faction that has requirements, we want to keep that requirements and rule in practice and try to regulate them accordingly. Now, being a YouTuber is not putting me in an easy position because requests come in very often, especially players who are new, who found my channel, who is a big fan of my channel, and I do appreciate that. I appreciate all the support from every single fan I have, but to expect me to just accept anyone into the faction just because they are a fan or they watches my videos, that's just kind of nonsensical to me, because at the end of the day, being in a faction is more than just being a fan. You have to actually play the game. And if you are only able to log in once a week or go 12 days inactive, you're going to put the entire faction and everyone else in it in a very bad state. You're going to pull everyone down. And sometimes I have to kick players so that I can bring in new players to replace the spot, so that we have constantly have active players to be able to maintain our ranks. But it's not easy. Whenever I do that, I get hate. People send me hate messages, and it's not something that I would love to deal with every single day. Now, you might think that, oh, you're a YouTuber, that's supposed to happen. That's also true, but at the end of the day, I just want to do what I enjoy. And what I enjoy a lot is playing games, playing Pacific Rim Breach Wars, and enjoying making YouTube videos of them. Now, I get it that most of the players that send me hate are probably kids, and kids might not be able to comprehend it as proper as an adult, so it's understandable. Alright, so this rant is getting long. This is not a usual video that I usually do. I don't usually do videos like this often, but I think it's best to address this because some of you guys might have noticed that I'm in a different faction now. So before I end the video, I would love to show you guys my last message to my faction members. So shout out to all of you who have been with me for a very long time. Ajax 4, Ryan Striker, Kozik, Silvertan, and there are a few others that I can't really remember, but I appreciate all of you for giving me a great and wonderful time in Raging Dragon.